Finally playing RE9, I see. Not a fan, but I'll watch. Your statement is funnier if I interpret it as, not a fan of you, but I'll watch. Playing RE9, I hate you, but I'm willing to sit through it. Me at the start of every stream. So fucking true. Me sitting down, getting ready for the humiliation ritual of watching Northern Lion make 18 misplays per fight in Slay the Spire, but then watching him do better than me anyway. Gritting my teeth. No! He shouldn't be doing this well! Why can he do it, but I can't? Why can't I do the things I can do? Man, maybe the comic really is better than the show. Invincible? No, The Boys. I was referring to The Boys. Comic is horrible? For The Boys? It's not horrible. It has serious problems, but, man, I don't know. The Black Noir twist is just so much more interesting than letting Homelander be the unambiguous villain up until the end. I feel like they did with Homelander in the Boys show kind of what they did with Jesse Pinkman, where they realized the charisma of the character and the performance the actor was bringing was so good that they wanted to bring their role up higher than they initially expected to. But I just don't think narratively Homelander makes a very good... I don't think thematically or narratively Homelander makes a good primary villain. He's just not smart enough. And they kept trying to... They keep trying to do this, like, MAGA thing, and I don't know if there's a perfect synchronicity there, because Vought Industries was always more of a corporatist stand-in than an oligarchical one. I feel like if they wanted to go with the Trump, like, oligarchy thing and change up the story, I think what they should have done was make Homelander smarter. Well, maybe not smarter. Make him more bold. And then have Vought be relatively weak. And have Vought concede power to Homelander over time. Like, Homelander takes more and more license with his own power and authority. And Vought Industries is like, oh yeah, man, well, you're the big seller, you're the powerful one. Isn't that what happened? No, because Vought was suspicious of Homelander. Vought thought themselves better than him. They should have been roped along with the narrative. You should watch the rest of the show then? Okay, maybe. There's a subtle distinction here. In the end, the corporation was never at fault. Yeah, I just don't know about that. Well, no, nuts, because in the comic ending, Black Noir and Homelander end up taking each other out. The idea of Homelander accidentally making himself a psychopath is so interesting. Because it really drives home this broader point about, the heroes having essentially no individual agency. Even Homelander, the strongest hero by far, one so strong that he made even Vought, like, really nervous. He was in addition to being, like, a weak baby boy, he was also, like, ideologically and morally led astray because he had such a weak self-identity that he allowed, like, images of him butchering a family to change his personality. I thought the ending of the comic was pretty great. Didn't you hate the ending? Of the comic? No, the ending of the comic was good. Of the show? I haven't seen the ending of the show. I'm hating from outside the club. From the club. You can't even get in. In Garth Ennis we trust? I did not say that. You do like Preacher, though? Yeah, but Preacher is so much less mean-spirited than The Boys, and it feels like for so much of The Boys, the, like, borderline misanthropic retardation that Garth Ennis dribbles into the writing was... In The Boys, it was so unrestrained. In Preacher, there was, like, an undercurrent of, you know, folksy American optimism that really carried it, I think, and it was a reason why the show was so important to me when I was... Or sorry, the comic was so important to me when I was younger, because I did like that idealism, even if it was presented in a flawed way. But in The Boys, there's none of that underlying idealism. I really think they should have made... Oh, what's his name? The main character. I forget, because he's such a weak character. Goatee Boy. You know who I'm talking about. Butcher? Not Butcher. Goatee Boy. The main character, Huey, yes. They should have made Huey a stronger... Whoa! Hey! Fuck you. The part of the TV series, The Boys, I do not understand is why the Pentagon did not play something of a role, either being seduced or a subplot of them resisting Homelander or Vought, like in the comics, the military fought the supers. Yeah, I don't remember how much of it is preserved in the show, but the boys in the comics are literally deep state agents. They work for the CIA in tandem with the US government and a bunch of mega corporations, all fighting against Vought. It's not the Butcher's personal grudge. They're all literally like deep state superpowered CIA agents trying to undermine Vaught's attempt to make the Pentagon accept them in a corporate contract to use supers in the military. They're like that in the show too? Well, it's been a while since I've seen it. Nice try, bucko. In the show, they do work for the Pentagon? Okay. Not the CIA? Okay. Anyway, isn't the final words of Homelander being, "You fucking fucked, you fucked my life," before getting one-shot by Black Noir, so much better of an ending to his character than him being the, like, final antagonist? The understanding that he was so weak down to his core and so, like, led astray by the currents around him that he didn't even understand who he was. It cuts so much deeper than him just being, like, a weakling once his powers are taken away, you know? In my opinion. I hated he became a weakling. Well, no, he was always a weakling. He was always a weakling in both the show and the comic. Except physically, of course. In the show, they fight him with superpowers for the first time. He literally can't fight because he's never had to. That's also the case in the comics. The reason the boys keep winning their super fights is because the boys all actually train to fight, and the supers are just frat boys with superpowers that never use them. Or if they do use them, it's just for stupid showboating stuff. They never actually practice fighting other people as strong as them. Homelander never learned how to fight. He was just, you know, really strong. Even for people who don't like the Black Noir twist. I thought the Black Noir twist was great. I genuinely don't understand why anybody would think that it's bad. I thought it was great when I got to it. I don't understand why they need this big final confrontation between Homelander and the Butcher when even the Butcher had made fun of the idea of having these big narrative confrontations before. Homelander has X-ray vision? You mean, like, why did he never X-ray Black Noir's face at any point? Because, his X-ray vision is just that, X-ray vision. Not, like, they show his perspective. He just sees skeletons. The only thing that he would have seen of Black Noir would have been his skeleton. Like, we see it from his perspective once, when we also see Queen Maeve has breast implants. All he sees is bones. He doesn't, like, see his facial structure or whatever. I'm talking about the comic Terrace Crasava. Some people say that the twist that Black Noir is a Homelander clone is stupid in the comic because Homelander has X-ray vision, but it's not the kind of vision that would allow him to tell that Black Noir is a clone. Did they ever explain why Vought made a clone of Homelander? Yeah, because Homelander was unstable and dangerous from day one, and they wanted a failsafe who could take Homelander out if things ever got bad. Take him out and replace him. So they made a clone of him and made that clone much more subservient. And they kept him around as Black Noir. And the reason Black Noir made crazy is because he was made to be an assassin of Homelander, but decades passed, and he never got the opportunity to actually fulfill that role. So he, set in motion a series of plans designed to make Homelander out to be a villain that would need to be taken out. Oh, for real? Yeah, that's the reason why Black Noir did all that shit. Because he wanted to set Homelander up to be a target Vought would call for the assassination of. Which ended up working. You know, in its own way. But then wouldn't they need another failsafe against the clone, because the clone also seemed pretty nuts? Well, the clone was nuts in a quieter way, at least initially, and also the clone was loyal, if nothing else. Like, the Black Noir did follow orders, and Homelander didn't. So they had a better script but didn't use it? Well, they would have had to change a lot of stuff to get that. Did the comics not also satirize or make fun of pop culture in the US? The comics were a little bit more pointed in making fun of superheroes specifically in a really, honestly, kind of like low IQ, stupid, embittered way. And also frat culture. Mostly that was where it was directed. It was not like a big oorah America MAGA criticism thing in the comic. Look, most of the comic is not good. I'm mostly just describing the decision at the end and praising that decision. I'm not really praising the comic broadly. The moment-to-moment experience of reading The Boys is like watching the most immature, insufferable guy whose brain hasn't developed since high school, you know, telling all of his favorite jokes from Rick and Morty, like, at your face. It's not great. Is it worth sitting through for the ending? It's not wretched. I thought it was worth it. I enjoyed reading it. There's also a lot of good analysis in there. I really do think that a lot of the, like, broader metagame strategizing between The Butcher and Vought International was really interesting. Or Vought American. I thought it was really interesting. Like, I enjoyed Vought American and The Butcher and the people around The Butcher all trying to, like, finagle out the next move from each other. I thought that was good. I don't think the problem with The Boys TV show is that it's not woke enough or whatever. If anything, I think that their obsession with making it about MAGA might have been to the detriment of the show from some of the stuff that I've seen. A bit of Bramble, there are plenty of pieces of art or shows or whatever else that critique the system. The problem is that, like, what you want isn't critique, what you want is action. And after the critique is done, you see no action, so you languish at the insufficiency of the critique. There's plenty of art out there that criticizes capitalism, yet it keeps itself being subsumed by capital. This will continue to happen until the system collapses. There's no way around it. Don't think of it as how good of a critique is this. Think of it as how much did I enjoy it? How much did it enrich me? Think about it from the perspective of your own engagement, not as like some, you know, broader piece of a war. You know, a part of the war machine against capitalism or whatever else. Everyone wishes they could produce a critique so convincing it instantly destroys capitalism, but I regret to inform all of you that Karl Marx lived and wrote quite some time ago, and since then things have only, you know, continued to develop in that direction. So the critique on its own is meant to enrich, not be the solution in itself. I do feel like it's a very leftist thing, and I mean this both as a negative and as a positive, to look at a devastating critique of capital and go, well, that's it then. It can't possibly continue after this, can it? You know what I mean? That's it. They've done it. Now everyone will understand. I do think it's important the average person be exposed to shows that can serve as a jumping off point for class consciousness. You're still doing it. You're still thinking of art and critique as a weapon in the war against capital, rather than as you know, an individual piece of art that's meant to be engaged with on its own terms, experientially. Look, some people are going to be radicalized against capitalism by fucking Steven Universe. Some will be by Andor. Some will be by going outside and breathing in the fresh air, you know? I agree it's good to have critique. It's just